All right, everybody. Welcome back to the Mid-Level Media Channel, your hub for everything physical media and entertainment. And guys, look, we've got some physical media news to talk about. I know I just dropped the physical media report yesterday, but there's other things that are going on. And look, I don't always talk about the Criterion Collection announcements, but when they drop an absolute bombshell, of course I'm going to cover it. And this is a title that I have been talking about wanting to come to 4K probably since 2021. I was making videos about this movie and how I wanted it to come to 4K. So I am serious when it comes to this film on 4K. And I have said it before, guys, this would be a perfect movie for the Criterion Collection to get because they've done several of these directors' filmography. They have that in their collection. So it would be absolutely perfect if they did No Country for Old Men. And we're going to get into it, guys, but I had to go ahead and just get into it. But No Country for Old Men is coming to 4K from the Criterion Collection. That is insane. I did not expect that. I figured when we got past November, it was over. Like we may get something kind of cool in December, but I thought the bombshells were done for Criterion. So the fact that they dropped No Country for Old Men for December is just freaking awesome, freaking fantastic. There may be some other stuff people are excited for in December, and we'll get into it. But I am making this video because No Country for Old Men is coming to 4K from the Criterion Collection on December the 10th, I believe. But let me make this bigger, guys. I don't want this video to be like extremely long because it's really like I like to do these videos. These are like supplemental physical media reports because this stuff always gets announced on Monday, like when I've already filmed the report and I'm ready to drop it. And then I put the report out and everybody's like, "Ken, did you hear about No Country for Old Men?" Of course I did. Of course I freaking heard about No Country for Old Men coming to 4K. I'm so excited, guys. So did I forget how to make things bigger on this? Look, here we go. All right, we did it. We did it, guys. So I am on the Criterion website. The December titles have been announced right there, guys. Let's get into it. Let's go ahead and click on that. And yeah, we've got our titles right here. There are 4 titles coming out in the month of December. And December is traditionally a little bit of a lighter month for Criterion. This is the month where they usually do 3 or 4 titles, I feel like, because they just go all out for November. And there's good stuff in November as well, but this is really, they started the year off strong and they had Blood Simple, another Coen Brothers film, come out on 4K at the beginning of 2024. And now they're closing the year out with No Country for Old Men on 4K. I wonder if they did that on purpose. I feel like they did. But No Country for Old Men, guys, if you haven't seen it, that is, I feel like that's probably my favorite Coen Brothers movie. Probably. I really love Blood Simple, but I think that's my favorite Coen Brothers movie. I remember watching that for the first time. I watched it back in 2007. It was when I was really kind of getting more into the indie film scene. And I remember I watched There Will Be Blood as well around that time, and they both came out the same year. They were both up against each other for Best Picture. No Country for Old Men beat There Will Be Blood, but which you could argue like There Will Be Blood could have beat No Country for Old Men. They're both like masterpiece movies. They're great films, but I remember watching No Country for Old Men, and I was just so taken with Javier Bardem as the villain. He's such a fantastic villain in the movie. You got Tommy Lee Jones in the film. It was one of Josh Brolin's, like, not earlier films, but I feel like he was just kind of breaking out as a more mainstream actor at that time. And it's just a fantastic film. It really is. It really like blew me away back in 2007. I was 22 years old when I watched that movie. I've seen it several times over the years. Like, this is a movie I go back to and watch. And I have always said it, guys, this movie would look so freaking fantastic in 4K. Why am I still on the freaking menu screen? Let me click on this, guys. All right, what do you guys think of the artwork here? No Country for Old Men. It looks like it's just going to be a regular standard case, which is kind of disappointing. I was hoping for a movie like this, I was hoping for like a digipack release. But again, I'm not going to cry about a digipack release versus a standard case. I am just happy we're getting No Country for Old Men on 4K. Now, I will say, like, this was a title I anticipated Criterion would do, and I wanted Criterion to do. I want Criterion to have their victories, and I felt like this was a Criterion movie, especially considering the other Coen Brothers film they have in their catalog. But I would be over the moon if Arrow Video announced this movie as like a big Arrow Video chunky box set edition. Like, that would be incredible as well. But I'm just excited to get this movie. I think I like the artwork a lot. You got the motel, you got Javier Bardem sitting there with the air tank and the blower right there. I think it's pretty perfect. I really am a big fan of the artwork right here. So this is coming out on December the 10th, and you got kind of the synopsis of the film right here. And really, like, I wasn't like super into westerns around this time, and a lot of people will call this a neo western, which is a more modern western. So this is definitely a western film with more of a modern spin on it, but all the themes of like a classic western are definitely present in this film. It's just a more modernized version of it. But I haven't actually looked at any of the special features or anything like that. But right now, it's available to pre-order on the Criterion website for $39.96, and you can get a Blu-ray version as well for $31.96. Now, I will say this is the month after the Criterion sale. So you'll probably like if you don't want to pick it up for that amount because it'll probably be like 35 bucks on Amazon. You can wait until March. There'll be a flash sale and you can probably get that for 25 bucks. Just a little tip. But this is a movie, like I say this often, like it's very rare Criterion puts out a new release that I feel like I have to get that month because most of the time I feel like I can just wait till they do the sales and get the discount. But this one I will 100% pick up the month of. Like I will not wait for No Country for Old Men, and not out of fear of missing out. I don't think this is going to sell out or anything like that, but I just want to see it. I just want to watch it again in 4K. I want to get into the special features. I just want to relive. I just want to live in this world again in 4K. You don't understand like how excited I am. Like this is one I've been talking about and wanting for such a long time, and I'm glad that it's finally here. But this is a new 4K digital master supervised and approved by director of photography Roger Deakins. So, wow, you got it supervised by Roger Deakins himself. With 5.1 surround DTS HD master audio soundtrack. You got one 4K UHD disc of the film presented in Dolby Vision HDR. So there you go, guys. A lot of people are usually afraid when Criterion does it. They're not going to have the Dolby Vision or the HDR, but they got both with this one, so we don't have to worry about that. And one Blu-ray of the film with special features. You got a new conversation between filmmakers Joel and Ethan Coen and author Meg Abbott. So yeah, this is based on a book. I kind of forget about that, but this is based on a book. So cool they got Joel and Ethan to come back and talk about this movie. I think they both came back to talk about Miller's Crossing as well. And I don't know if they did features for Blood Simple or not, but maybe they did. But I know they did one for Miller's Crossing because I actually reviewed that on the channel. So cool that they came back to talk about the movie. You got a new conversation between Deakins and associate producer David Delberto, also featuring Abbott. You got archival interviews with actors Javier Bardem, Josh Brolin, Tommy Lee Jones, and Kelly McDonald. So I'm looking on the back of this Blu-ray right here, and the archival stuff. You got Working with the Coens, The Making of No Country for Old Men, Diary of a Country Sheriff. So there are features on that Blu-ray that I'm pretty sure that's probably what they're talking about in the archival features. Then you have behind the scenes documentary by Brolin. So I wonder if that's new. And then you got 3 documentaries about the making of the film featuring on-set footage and interviews with members of the cast and crew. So I wonder if those are new. I'm not 100% if those are new or not. But then you got English subtitles for The Deaf and Hard of Hearing, plus an essay by author Francis Prose and a 2007 piece on the film by author Larry McMurtry. So I'm pretty sure that'll be in a little booklet on the inside as well. But yeah, I'm not saying it's light on special features. I think the special features they have are really good, but I do think, and that all depends on like if the documentaries are new, but I do think when it comes to Criterion, like they're a little lacking just across the board. I feel like the past couple of years on their special features, like for a movie like this, they really should have went all out and they should have really strived to get some cast and crew interviews on this. I think there should have been upwards of I don't know 3, 4, 5 interviews on here, and they just got the 2. Like if this was Arrow Video, like this is why I think Arrow Video is just the best in the game. You would have got at least like 5 or 6 interviews with this movie. Like you just would have, because they just put the time and the energy and the effort into that kind of stuff. So I don't know, guys. Like, I just feel like Criterion is I like Criterion. They're just kind of resting on their laurels at this point. But I'm excited to listen to the new conversation between Joel and Ethan Coen, and I'm just excited to watch this movie on 4K. That's really what's the most important. And Criterion usually does a phenomenal job on their 4K restoration. So I'm over the moon, guys. I am excited. How do you guys feel about No Country for Old Men? Let me know in the comments section below. But let's get into the other stuff. Now, I'll be honest, I'm not going to be as high on these. Two of them I have not seen, and one of them I've seen and I'm not a massive fan of, but I know a lot of people really love it. We'll go ahead and get into that. And this is one I anticipated was probably going to come out this year because they were talking. This one already got a 4K, I think, overseas. I forget who's putting that one out in the UK, but Paris, Texas is coming to 4K as well from the Criterion Collection. Definitely anticipated this. So all the same special features. I'm sure they didn't add anything new because that's what Criterion does. Screen Factory gets a lot of heat for doing that kind of stuff, for re-releasing stuff and not adding anything new. And Criterion really doesn't get any heat for that. At least it doesn't feel like. And Screen Factory will sometimes add new stuff, but Criterion never does. I've never seen Criterion add anything new. This is not supposed to be a Criterion hate video. It really is not, but it's kind of going to turn into that a little bit probably. But I am excited for No Country for Old Men. But anyway, Paris, Texas. I think visually this movie is going to look beautiful in 4K. It is, but I watched this, I think, on HBO Max 3 or 4 years ago because I heard so many people hype this movie up and say it was so great. I just could not get into it. I couldn't get into the story. I couldn't get into the characters. I couldn't get into the emotional aspects of it. Like they were wanting you to buy into this relationship and get all emotional with it, and I just couldn't. I didn't feel for anybody. I didn't care about anybody. I thought the performances were good. I thought it was a well-directed film. It might just be the case where I just wasn't ready for it. I need to go back and rewatch it again. So I'll probably get this 4K at some point just to give it a revisit. And I don't have it in the collection because, like I said, the first time I watched it was on streaming. But I know a lot of people love this movie. I know a lot of people will be super excited to get Paris, Texas on 4K for sure. But like I said, all the same special features. And this is coming out on December the 3rd. You also got Eastern Condors, which look, guys, I feel like I have heard of this movie, but I honestly can't think of where I heard of this movie, but it is a Hong Kong film, it looks like. And this is getting a Blu-ray release, so this is not a 4K, and this comes out on December the 17th. And I think this is new to the Criterion Collection, so you have a new interview with the director. This is a 2K digital restoration with uncompressed monaural soundtrack. You get a new audio commentary. You get interviews from 2001. You get Eastern Condor live and onstage performance with 1987 Miss Hong Kong pageant. You get teaser and trailers. You get new English subtitles translation. So, plus an essay by film critic Sean Gilman. So, Eastern Condor, guys, are you excited for Eastern Condors? Let me know in the comments section below. And lastly, we have Fellini's 8.5. And I have not seen this movie. This is a movie from 1963. I have heard of Fellini, and I do need to check out some of his stuff. I think this is one of his most renowned films, I would say. I think this is one of his most celebrated movies. When people bring up his name, they usually reference 8.5. So I will check this out. This is coming to 4K because this is already in the Criterion Collection as a Blu-ray. So this is getting upgraded to 4K. Looks like it's a black and white film. Black and white always looks fantastic in 4K. So I'm sure this one will as well. So yeah, I'll get this, but again, I'm not jumping to grab this one immediately. I'll probably grab it in a future sale at some point. But this is coming out on December the 10th as well. So same day as No Country for Old Men. You got a new 4K digital restoration with uncompressed monaural soundtrack. You got one 4K UHD disc of the film and one Blu-ray of the film with special features. So it does not look like this has HDR or Dolby Vision. At least I'm not seeing it. So again, with Criterion, not adding the HDR Dolby Vision, that's really what makes a black and white 4K look so damn good. So I don't know what their deal is with that. They do that stuff all the time. And again, maybe I'm not seeing it. People call me out all the time because I'll be on here. People don't understand, when you're under the lights and you're trying to look at the screen, sometimes things just start to blend together and you can't read everything. But I know I missed something on the Neverending Story box set. People were always calling me out in the comment section. So there's sometimes I miss stuff, but I'm really trying to look, but it gets hard sometimes. I don't have the perfect eyes. But I don't think I see HDR Dolby Vision anywhere, but looks like you have all the same features, I'm sure, that were present in the last release. Audio commentary, I'm not really seeing anything new there. You get a documentary, so I'm sure it's all great features. But again, Criterion usually doesn't do anything new with their releases, their upgrades from Blu-ray. So But yeah, guys, let me know what you think of this lineup for December. I mean, No Country for Old Men was really all I needed. Like they could have just thrown it out there and we would have been done, right? But I do think it would have been really cool because we got word of a potential There Will Be Blood 4K coming from Paramount. I think that was maybe a year ago. And No Country for Old Men is Miramax, and it also says Paramount on the back. So I don't know if this, I don't know who owns No Country for Old Men at this point, if it's owned by Paramount or Miramax. I know some of those, I know Paramount owns most of Miramax stuff now, so I'm sure it is Paramount. But I also know that Lionsgate had got some of Miramax's stuff as well. So I'm sure it's owned by Paramount, but There Will Be Blood is also owned by Paramount. So I think it would have been really cool if they released both of those movies on 4K in the same month. Like that would have been freaking massive and so freaking just poetic for those movies because they were going head to head against each other in the Oscars from 2007. So that would have been real cool, but that's kind of like my brain like dream booking these physical media releases, and that's just not how it works sometimes, guys. But I'm excited, guys. I'm excited for No Country. Let me know if you are in the comment section below. Thank you all so much for watching this video. Like, comment, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. We talk about all things physical media. We break news, we do reviews, we do unboxings, we do showcase videos. We talk about all things physical media, movies, all that kind of stuff. If you like that kind of stuff, hit the subscribe button. And we'll see you next time.